Pay close attention. What I'm about to share may strike a deep chord and shift the lens through which you view everything. You're navigating a world that never goes quiet. It's always buzzing, shouting, pressing in from every side. It's a daily struggle to be seen, to gain attention, to earn dignity. People clamor louder and louder, fighting to rise above the volume. And if you're being real, maybe you've been swept up in it too. You shout, you argue, you hustle. But here's a reality check. No one tells you this truth. That noise, it's hollow, it drains you, and it's brittle. Real authority doesn't roar. It doesn't demand validation. It commands, without spectacle, without fanfare, but with presence no one can overlook. That's the quiet current, the type of strength that doesn't announce itself, but dominates any room it walks into. Take a hard look around. Who genuinely earns your admiration? The person yelling the loudest, or the one who remains poised, composed, exuding confidence without uttering a word? That's the kind of force we're going to explore. A force the Stoics wielded like armor. These weren't monks hiding from conflict. These were warriors of the mind who faced war, betrayal, chaos, and loss, and didn't shatter. They didn't explode or break down. They became indestructible by mastering what they could control: their minds, their emotions. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That power, it's quiet, solid, unshakable, and it's already inside you. But don't get it twisted. This isn't some quick hack. It's not overnight magic. This is a craft, a discipline forged over time with daily practice, patience, and intentional restraint. This quiet strength isn't about being cold or emotionally numb. It's about being so deeply rooted that your emotions serve you, not run you. It's the ability to remain composed when your world feels like it's collapsing. Imagine stepping into a room thick with tension, voices raised, nerves frayed. You don't flinch, you don't fuel the fire. You breathe, you stay grounded. And something powerful happens. Your calm slices through the noise. People notice, they listen. That's the invisible force at work. Now you might be thinking, that sounds powerful, but how do I live like that? That's exactly why this video exists. I'm going to walk you through 6 ancient, battle-tested principles drawn from Stoic teachings and real-world examples that will help you forge that calm strength. But before we begin, I want you to make a vow. Promise yourself you won't skip a single part of this process. Missing one piece weakens the whole. Promise you'll stay the course, because this isn't about short-term inspiration. It's about a complete transformation. And above all, promise that you'll act. Don't just absorb this. Apply it. Live it. So, what does quiet strength actually look like in the real world? It's holding your tongue when others rush to blame. It's choosing fewer words that carry more truth. It's managing your fear and frustration without letting them define you. It's keeping your gaze fixed when life throws distractions at you. It's walking away from senseless battles, not out of fear, but because your peace is too valuable. This isn't about disappearing. This is about becoming undeniable. People won't ignore you. They'll respect you because you don't chase validation. You've earned it from within. And the most incredible part? This isn't reserved for the elite. This silent strength lives inside anyone willing to cultivate it. Let's unlock it together. If you want lasting influence, begin here. Master your emotional responses. That doesn't mean stuffing down your feelings. It means becoming their commander. Like a wise ruler who listens to his people but never lets them dictate chaos. Most people live like leaves caught in windstorms, flung around by every flicker of anger, envy, or dread. They snap under pressure, they lash out, they freeze when fear strikes. But the Stoic path teaches something sharper. Power doesn't come from feeling nothing. It comes from choosing what your feelings become. Let me paint you a picture. There was a man who worked in a pressure cooker office. Every day, he was undermined by his boss, mocked by co-workers. Most would have exploded or quit in fury. He didn't. He stayed grounded. He listened with poise. He responded with thoughtful words. He walked with steady pride. Over time, the same people who ignored him began to watch him, then follow him. Why? Because he didn't react like everyone else. He had emotional discipline, and that silence, that steady, unshaken stillness, spoke louder than any outburst ever could. Think about this. The one who makes you angry holds your leash. That's not just an idea. It's a warning. The moment you surrender to rage or panic, you surrender your command. The Stoics remind us: pause, breathe, watch, then act with precision. You don't need to match someone's disrespect to win. You outlast it with elegance. A lion doesn't answer every bark. Why? He knows who he is. So should you. This emotional power doesn't just earn admiration, it protects your peace. People feel it in how you carry yourself, how your voice stays low when others shout, how your hands stay still when others shake. You become like still water, deep, calm, mysterious, powerful. If you're starting this journey, begin simply. When something irritates you, don't fire back. Watch it, question it, breathe through it, buy yourself time. Bit by bit, you'll stop being a prisoner to your emotions. You'll become their general. Because real strength isn't loud, it's silent, deliberate, and it commands attention without ever asking. There's a kind of energy that enters a room long before you speak. It's not about volume, it's about vibration. It's called presence, and it speaks louder than any voice ever could. Ever walked into a space and immediately felt someone's aura before they even said a word? That's not magic. That's inner alignment being projected outward. That's quiet strength made visible. And the ancient Stoics? They didn't chase the spotlight. They built presence so potent that it drew people in effortlessly. You don't need to shout to raise your value. You raise your value by mastering how you show up. Presence is your physical language when your mouth is still. It's your posture. It's your gaze. It's the stillness in your body when everyone else is fidgeting. It's the way you remain unbothered in moments of friction. People notice this, even if they can't put it into words. They sense it, and more importantly, they respect it. Epictetus once said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it." Translation: stop talking about who you are. Live it in how you move, how you listen, how you hold space. That is presence. That is silent command. Now, here's the truth. Most people can't sit in silence. A gap in conversation makes them squirm. A tense moment makes them blurt. That's because silence exposes them, reveals their uncertainty. But if you can sit still with full awareness, if you can ride that silence like a wave, it becomes your edge. Suddenly, you're the one people look toward, not away from. Because your presence doesn't repel, it attracts. And where does this presence come from? From knowing who you are, not needing to be the loudest, but being the clearest. The quietest soul in the room can carry the deepest gravity, not because they say less, but because they need less from the world. To grow your presence, begin here. Sit tall. Make eye contact that's steady, not aggressive. Let others speak, and don't rush to fill every pause. Speak slower. Speak with intent. Don't try to appear powerful. Start by removing everything that makes you feel small. Because presence isn't gifted, it's cultivated. And once it's yours, people don't just hear you, they feel you. That's not showmanship, that's ancient power, the kind that endures without needing attention. Let's dive into a principle that runs against the grain of modern living: detachment. In a world that constantly demands your attention, pushing you to obsess over titles, likes, image, and outcomes, the boldest move you can make is this: detach from everything you cannot steer. Now understand, detachment doesn't mean apathy. It means precision. It means identifying what's worthy of your inner fire and what isn't. Picture this: a person who can exit chaos without needing to explain. Someone who doesn't beg to be liked. Someone who can lose without losing themselves. Someone who can win without turning arrogant. That's silent power. Why? Because they aren't chained to the world's opinion. They're free. Seneca said it best: he is a great man who uses earthenware as if it were silver. Translation: your calm, your integrity, your presence should not fluctuate with circumstance. Whether you're sitting on a golden throne or a wooden chair, you remain the same. That's detachment. And detachment is liberation. Freedom from approval, freedom from the chase, freedom from emotional earthquakes every time something doesn't go your way. This doesn't mean you walk through life numb. It means your sense of self isn't outsourced to results or recognition. You give your all, and you let the outcome land where it may. Let me give you a real story. A man spent years preparing for a promotion. When the day arrived, someone else got it. Everyone expected fireworks, fury, resignation. But instead, he smiled, congratulated the other guy, and kept working with the same grace. Why? Because his effort was within his control. The outcome wasn't. That's detachment in action. And months later, a better role landed at his feet, because he stayed the course, while others unraveled. Life constantly whispers, "Let me see if I can shake you." Detachment responds, "Take what you will. I remain whole." You don't need to be stone-hearted. You need to be self-owned, emotionally anchored. Let your silence signal this: you cannot pull me apart. Want to start building detachment? Try this. Stop engaging in petty arguments. Don't chase those who walk away. Let people misjudge you. Release the outcome after you've done your part. This kind of mental discipline shifts everything. You'll feel lighter, more in control, unbothered by nonsense. People will wonder, how are they so unshaken? And you won't need to answer. Your calm will. Let's talk about what truly divides those who are respected from those who are briefly admired. Discipline. Motivation is loud, it's exciting, it's viral. It shouts through workout videos and Instagram quotes. But discipline doesn't make noise. It doesn't need applause. It just shows up every day, even when no one's looking. The Stoics weren't waiting around for motivation to strike. They didn't ask the wind for inspiration. They built routines, carved from stone, that shaped who they became. Because real change doesn't come from sparks, it comes from structure. Marcus Aurelius, in his private writings, once reminded himself, "At dawn, when you find it hard to get up, tell yourself, 'I rise to do the work of a human being.'" That wasn't a quote for others. It was a mirror to himself. Every single morning. That's discipline. The truth is, most people don't suffer from a lack of dreams. They suffer from a lack of repeatable action. They want results, but not rhythm. They want admiration, but not effort. But respect doesn't land overnight. It's built brick by brick, like a temple of self. Let me share something real. I knew someone, quiet, low profile, didn't talk much, but without fail, every morning at 5 a.m. he trained. Not for a big event, not for likes, for himself, day in, day out. 1 year later, his body transformed, his mindset unshakable. People noticed, they asked for advice, but he hadn't said a word. He didn't boast. He kept showing up in silence. That's the power of discipline. It never demands respect. It earns it. So how do you build this silent strength? Start with one anchor. Set a wake-up time and defend it. Craft habits that fuel your body and clear your mind. Keep showing up, especially when it's boring. And when you fall short, get back up, quietly. Most people think strength is about dramatic acts, but it's forged in the mundane, in the early hours, in the lonely reps, in the cold mornings when no one's watching. That's where silent warriors are made. Ask yourself this: what do I do when no one sees me? What rituals define my life? Am I waiting to feel ready, or am I already in motion? Because here's the truth: lions don't wait for motivation to hunt. It's simply who they are. Make discipline your identity, not a phase, a foundation, a flow state. This is the Stoic way. No shouting, no shortcuts, just quiet, unrelenting commitment. Let's shift to a form of power that few understand in today's hyper-connected world: intentional speech. We live in an era of noise. Everyone's posting, debating, explaining, defending. But here's the truth: the person who speaks less but says more commands a different kind of attention. That's not shyness. That's control. That's Stoicism. Zeno of Citium, the father of Stoic philosophy, once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen twice as much as we speak." That wasn't about silence for silence's sake. It was about knowing the weight of words, being strong enough to stay silent, wise enough to wait. You've seen it before, that one individual in the room who barely speaks. But when they do, everyone leans in. Why? Because their words aren't filler. They're refined, precise, rooted in thought. Speaking less doesn't mean speaking never. It means removing the fluff. It means saying only what matters. It means listening with depth, understanding before responding, and using your voice like a blade, sharp, clean, rare. Here's the thing: when you say fewer words, each one carries more impact. When you pause before replying, people feel your intent. When you stop defending yourself every time you're challenged, you display composure, not weakness. Let me tell you a true story. There was a young man, always quick to argue, always ready to clap back. It made him feel powerful for a while, until one day a mentor told him, "You talk like your words are free. But every word costs you something: your peace, your focus, your time." That moment hit different. From then on, he started choosing his words, not to win arguments, but to elevate the conversation. He became silent, not out of fear, but out of clarity. Here's how you start. Stop interrupting. Don't talk just to fill air. Speak only when your words bring value. Let the gaps breathe. Don't compete for attention. Because when your speech is intentional, your silence becomes louder. People won't just remember what you said, they'll remember how rarely you needed to say it. That's not weakness, that's wisdom, and wisdom echoes far beyond noise. Among all the Stoic teachings, there's one that's often overlooked, yet it holds the most transformative potential. You are not what happens to you. You are how you respond. Anyone can stay calm when everything flows smoothly. But who are you when chaos strikes? when you're insulted, betrayed, put to the test. That moment, that choice, reveals your true identity. That's where real strength or weakness shows itself. The Stoics believed that external events have no meaning on their own. What gives them power is the story we assign to them. That's why one person can face a disaster and grow stronger, while another crumbles under the same weight. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and renowned thinker, once wrote, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." That small pause, that breath between what happens and what you choose to do, that's everything. That's your battlefield. In that space, you can pick composure over rage, understanding over impulse, purpose over reaction. Life will challenge you. People will test your limits. Something will go wrong. That's inevitable. But what you do in those moments, that's your legacy. When others expect you to snap and you don't, that shakes them, that earns respect without a word. Here's a true account. A man was falsely accused in front of a crowd. Most would have screamed back, demanded justice, made a scene, but he didn't. He stood tall, silent, unmoved. Not because he didn't care, but because he knew truth doesn't need to panic. In time, his name was cleared. But people remembered not just the outcome, they remembered his restraint, his stillness, his unshaken presence. Why did it stay with them? Because silence, in the face of injustice, is not weakness. It's strength, it's power under control. Your reaction becomes your reputation. People may forget your words, but they'll never forget how you held yourself when the world was watching. So how do you train this inner response? Practice the pause. When triggered, don't act immediately. Ask, is this worth my energy? Breathe through the storm. Hold your center. Watch your mind instead of letting it take over. Because the strongest people you'll ever meet aren't loud, they're composed. Their calm wasn't born, it was forged, in fire, in silence, over time. And here's what happens when you master your reactions. People stop trying to control you. They come to you not for drama, but for direction. So remember this. In disorder, be the stillness. In insult, be the dignity. In betrayal, be the lesson. That's Stoic power, and it's who you're becoming. You've just walked through not just words, but a shift, a blueprint, a way of life that transcends the noise of the world. Let's look back at what you now carry. You learned that true control isn't about denying emotions, it's about directing them. You saw that presence can speak volumes without uttering a word. You discovered that detachment isn't indifference. It's the freedom to choose what deserves your soul. You understood that discipline isn't driven by hype, but by daily, quiet execution. You now know that your words are stronger when fewer, and your silence, when chosen wisely, speaks deepest. And finally, you learned that your reaction is your identity, the space where legacy is built. This isn't theory, this isn't fluff. This is the blueprint of ancient warriors, philosophers, and modern-day leaders. And none of this is out of reach. Because this power, it's already within you. It doesn't shout, it doesn't seek permission, it doesn't beg. It commands, it radiates, it anchors. And when you begin to live this way, people won't even know why they're drawn to you. But they will be. Because true respect is never demanded. It's felt. You don't need to overpower others. You need to own yourself, fully, honestly, relentlessly. And when you do, you become the kind of person who walks like thunder, even in silence. So here's your next step. Choose stillness where others shout. Choose awareness where others spiral. Choose strength where others flinch. Be the one who lives these teachings, not just repeats them. In a world screaming for attention, be the calm voice they can't ignore. In a world full of storms, be the grounded one people gather around. In a world rushing to speak, be the one who waits, and when you do speak, you shake the room. This is the silent force. This is the path of the Stoic, and it's already yours, if you choose it. Now, make it real. Drop this in the comments. I walk in silence, but I am felt everywhere. Like this video. Share it with someone who needs it. Subscribe, because this is just the beginning. There's more power waiting ahead, and it's already living inside you. Let's awaken it, together.